Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Rapid Fire Friday. I can't believe it's November 1st. So we are well on our way to the fall season. I can tell by the weather. Today it's a bit chilly. If you were broadcasting here from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and last couple days the weather's gone kind of up and down. It's been pretty windy, a couple days of warm, but I think now fall is kicking in because it is a bit brisk. Before I dive in on today's Rapid Fire Friday, I just want to acknowledge and apologize if you can hear any background noise. I don't think you can hear it, but we have a little bit of construction going on today here, actually this week. Today's, I believe, the final day. We're getting a new porch, so thank you, Callan Construction. They also helped us with our kitchen, so we are excited to bring back another project with them. So they're wrapping that up soon, but I apologize if you hear any background noise. So welcome. And if you are watching live, go ahead and just drop me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I appreciate that. I know that I get a lot of replays because I know folks are working, but thank you so much for your interest. This is the second Rapid Fire Friday of the fall season. As I mentioned last week, if you didn't see last week's Rapid Fire Friday, I encourage you to go watch that replay. But I'm back for a weekly dose of tips and tricks to transforming your hobby to a business. So today I do have 5 Q&A, and I'm excited to chat with you about those topics. Now, sometimes they're about business, sometimes they're about decorating. But like I said, hopefully there are going to be some tips and tricks for you to make your journey just a little bit easier. If you are not familiar with who I am, you're like, well, I'm tuning in on this live, but I really don't know who she is. I've been in this community, but I haven't really engaged much. My name is Annette Conrad, and I'm the owner and lead creative for a company called Edible Impressions that I started over 19 years ago as a hobby. So if you are a hobbyist right now and you're wondering, could I possibly take my cookie craft to a business? I say yes, you can. It takes a lot of love, a lot of commitment, dedication, and hard work, but it is very possible to have a nationwide growing cookie business if you really want it. So I'm here again to share a little bit about my experience. I also do have events planning as my first ultimate passion. So really those two worlds collide, and I feel like I have a lot to share. So I'm happy to be back with these live opportunities. I do welcome you to visit me also at AnnetteConrad.com, where I've got some free resources, and you can learn more about how we can work together if you're interested. Okay, but let's get down to it. I just want to say hello very quickly to Deanne and Sue and Beatrice. Thank you so much for joining live. Hello, Sue. Nice to see you. I miss you. Sue is one of our long-time members in the community, and she's super engaging and actually has a lot of knowledge. So, don't be shy if you're in the community and you have a question. I try to answer them, but there are really a lot of folks in this community that are willing to help. So, and Sue is one of them. So thank you very much, Sue. And kudos to your business as it seems to be growing. All right, let's get down to it. So I have 5 Q&A. How this works is that it is going to be in a rapid fire format. So if you didn't think I could talk any faster, just wait and see. So the beauty of having a replay, you can always come back and listen and watch this again. So we're going to talk all business today because I think, it's time. We're getting into the busy season. It might be a busy season for you. It might be the time where you stop, regroup, and start to plan for next year. So wherever you are, I think you're going to find some helpful information here. So the first one is for all of you that are pondering and thinking about transforming from a hobby to business. What is the first step to transforming your hobby to a cookie business? Now it's funny because as I started to generate the response to this, it's actually 4 or 5 steps. So I apologize. So yes, there is one step, but within that one step, there are a couple sub steps because that's just the reality. You're going to find that when you do make that leap, your to-do list is going to be super, super long, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. And I really do want you to take it step by step. So for those of you that are considering and you're ready to make that leap, here's what you want to do. Before you do anything else, I want you to set some goals. And I know you're thinking, how do I set goals if I have no idea who I'm working with or what I really want to do? I've been doing this craft for so long and I love to do all these different techniques and I'm not even sure where to start. But what I mean by setting your goals is I want you to determine who it is that you want to work with, okay? Who is going to be your client? Now, I remember when I was a hobbyist, I was doing cookies for everybody. I never said no to an order. So I was doing small batch, large batch. I was doing personal celebrations. I was doing a little bit of the companies as I started to dabble in that area. I never said no to anything. And so I was really being everything to everyone, but that really didn't serve me. So I'm hoping that if you are, again, looking to build a business from a hobby, and those are two very different hats, I want you to learn from me. Don't be everything to everybody. The more you can niche down, the better. So what I want you to do is think about, who did you enjoy working with when you were making cookies as a hobby? Was it family? Was it friends? Did you have an opportunity to make any cookies for an organization, whether it be a nonprofit or maybe a company asked you? Maybe you donated cookies to an event. So really kind of narrow it down to who is going to purchase from you. And then that's when you're going to start to think about, okay, what am I going to call my business? How am I going to gain some visibility? But really the first step is setting some clear goals, and it starts with, who do I want to work with? Because then everything else is going to fall into place on marketing and reach out and packaging. Because if you don't know who's going to buy, you have no idea what their expectations are or their needs and wants. Okay, now I know that was just one, and I could go on, and I've done many, many masterclasses on this topic. So again, this is a rapid fire format, so I just dabble a little bit. But if you want to go deeper on any one of these topics, please just have a conversation in the chat, and we'll kind of go a little deeper. Okay, so how do I determine pricing for my cookies? Okay, I could literally do an all-day retreat on how do you determine pricing for your cookies. But here, Rapid Fire Friday, I'm going to tell you very, very quickly a couple tips and tricks. So what you want to do certainly is calculate your costs, which are the ingredients, your packaging, the labor, any overhead that you can think of, like to the penny. What are the costs associated with producing that order? Okay. And you also, which so many people forget, what is your desired profit? You have to put that into your costs. Otherwise, you're really going to be spinning your wheels. So, and I know that can be tricky, and I know that it can be really nerve-wracking because you're like, okay, I need to set my prices, but I'm a little afraid. I don't want to be under, I don't want to be over, but just know this, just start, pick a price that you feel good about, do some market research. Who else is out there in your area? What are they charging? What are they offering? And you're going to know kind of deep in your heart, like what is right. But here's the biggest thing that I think some people get stuck on, and then I'll move on to number 3, is that they feel like once they set the pricing that they can't change it. Okay? You can set your pricing and you can change it as need be. You determine how often you want to change it or adjust it. You need to have some justification, of course, and you want to be careful not to offer one person one thing and then very quickly offer another person another thing. So you want to be very fair and consistent, but you as the business owner can change your pricing or adjust accordingly. And you don't have to wait to the end of the year. And sometimes it's, if you don't want to change the pricing for a certain offering, you could add a new offering or have like tiered pricing. So again, I could talk about pricing all day long, but I just want you to know that you need to consider your costs, include your desired profit in there as well, and that will help you set your pricing. But again, very important, market research, take a peek and just see. I'm not saying copy or mirror, but just know and understand what is the market threshold, like what are people charging? And it's always safe to go middle of the road, not the least expensive, not the most expensive. And then at that point you can kind of see how it goes. Okay, so number 3 is, what is the best way to get my first client? Oh my God, this is also a loaded question. But when I read this question, I would say use your technology. I mean, we live in an age right now where we have these free platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I mean, it's endless. There are so many platforms and they are essentially free. It's like having a bulletin board out on the freeway, and but which is even better because you're not limited to just that one freeway. Social media can reach so many people. But what I want you to do here is be very careful. Again, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but when it comes to how do I get my first client, When it comes to social media, one of the best things I can tell you is pick one platform, okay? I know it's very tempting, and you're probably like, well, Annette, I see Edible Impressions. You have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, you have Instagram. I don't do Snapchat, and I will not do TikTok. So there are some limitations. And yes, I have multiple platforms, and I also have Pinterest, but I'm not very active. But I've made sure I at least have a profile um, on Pinterest, just in case someone discovers me there. But the three that I really zone in on are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But understand, I have three different audiences. So I can justify the need for those platforms. And I also, when I first started my business, didn't have all three. So it evolved and I expanded as I was able to do so. So think quality, not quantity when it comes to social media. But that to me is a great place to get your first clients. But also, I always talk about this, start with your family and friends. Your family and friends have a network, and then their network has a network. So if people don't know what you do, your family and friends to start, or your neighbors, or your local chamber, or the places that you shop are not aware, that could be a problem, especially if you want to target local business. So make sure you're talking about your business. And so I think those are some great places that you can get your first clients. Okay. And again, I could go on and on because there's another whole side of being able to offer your services, your cookies to, let's say, a nonprofit. What an amazing way to get visibility in your business and to get potential clients. So there's so many ways, so many ways. Okay, so here's another one. I know these are loaded questions, but I just want to get you thinking, and I'm happy to go deeper. And I do plan on coming on for a little bit longer conversations, but I just want to get you thinking about all the areas that you'll need to consider when you are transforming from a hobby to a business. So number 4 here, how do I handle customer orders without getting overwhelmed? Now, this is also a really good one to talk about because I know from my business and my hobby to business, it did evolve and it is continuously evolving in terms of how do I capture my clients' needs and expectations. And so bottom line is you just need to have a clear ordering process, whatever that may be to you. For years, when I first started, I was using a Word document and PDF files for my orders. Hey, it worked for me, it worked for my clients, but as my business built, it got larger and the orders came in more frequently and the orders started to get a little larger and a little bit more complex. Even though I only offer a handful of services, our whole business is customization. I felt the need to streamline that. So then I created an order form. So go at your own pace, but I would just recommend that you have something that's consistent and very clear, not only for you as to execute, but particularly for your clients. So start with your prospective clients, your clients. On the user side, make sure it's easy for them to understand. Make sure that they know what the steps are to place an order with you. And just make sure you've got some type of double checking system because it's very, very easy to make a mistake. And believe me, if you were to shout out mistakes that you've made, I probably have made those, all of those mistakes, and maybe even twice. So a lot of those come up and we create workflow processes because of mistakes that were made. So again, having a very clear ordering process and setting boundaries is also super, super important to avoid the overwhelm. So I know that this year, this holiday season, we've set some boundaries. I've really set some goals of not working the weekend, or at least every Saturday and Sunday through this holiday season. And so far, my team and I, we have not worked a weekend, and we are ready November 1st and looking ahead, projecting through. We have just as much business as we did last season, but we are not working weekends. And I tell you, lights out at 6, 7, maybe there's a couple nights where I've got some folks coming in the evening, but lights out early. So I'm really happy about that. So setting boundaries is also really important to avoid the overwhelm. Lots and lots of things I could talk about this topic, but I just wanted to get a few things out there in the universe for you to think about. Okay. One last thing here is, how do I promote my cookie business online effectively? So I think I touched on social media, and that is definitely an opportunity to create visibility. That's a great place to start talking about your brand and, getting orders certainly. But I also think that you need to have consistency. You need to be very clear on what you're offering. And I think the best way that you can do that, and a very safe way that you can do that, is kind of building a website or having some what I like to call home base. Now, I want to not put the fear in you, but I want you to realize that if you're on a social media platform or you have a free software, it can be a little risky because you may not have the support of the software. You may not get all the features that that software is offering in terms of security, data protection, but you also don't necessarily own that information. And so, things happen. People like lose their social media. Sometimes they're put on hold for no reason. So if that is the main place that you are promoting your business or, sharing what you do, I caution you on that. So create a website, have a place that is going to be solid and secure. And I think that's just really important. So, and then I think I'm going to stop there because that whole thing about, promoting your business online, I could go down so many rabbit holes, but I just wanted to maybe touch on that. So social media is awesome, great place to get started, but pretty quickly as you start to get momentum, I really want you to think about where is the best place for me to have a home base that that is going to be safe and secure. Okay. Wow, that was a lot in 16 minutes, even though I know there's supposed to be 10. I try for the 10, but it doesn't always happen. You can see I get very excited and very passionate about these topics. I really, truly enjoy sharing, and I hope that you find this community a comfortable and safe place to ask your questions, your wonderments. Reach out to me. You can DM me privately if you prefer not the community. And I will be back every week at this time, 11 o'clock Central. You can watch the replay, and thank you to those that are watching the replay. And I always welcome your topics of interest. So if there is a topic that you want me to cover in a Rapid Fire Friday, either DM me via the Facebook group or go to AnnetteConrad.com. You can click the contact page and just reach out to me there. And I pride myself on being very responsive. And even in this busy season, I do make it a priority to get back to folks in a timely basis. So I hope to connect with you soon. So thank you very much for your attention, and we will talk to you all really soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.